Are you wanting to scale your eBay business and you're trying to figure out, should I invest in a warehouse space or a storage unit? Stay tuned, because in this video, we're gonna break down all the pros and all the cons to renting a storage unit versus a warehouse. So if you're ready to rock and roll, cue that intro. What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit over RaikenProfit.com, coming back to you with another video. Storage unit versus a warehouse space. So I've actually had multiple storage units, and I've had a couple different, I had an office space, but this is my first like legit warehouse space. So if you need more space or you're looking to hire employees and you're trying to figure out, should I go with a storage unit versus a warehouse? I'm gonna break down 11 things to consider right now. We're gonna talk pros and cons of either one. So the goal of this video is for you to be able to watch this and be able to figure out, should I start with a storage unit or should I start with a warehouse? So let's dive right into it. If you are working on a limited budget, okay, and one of the biggest obstacles you're gonna deal with is money, and you don't have a lot of it, and maybe you've looked at the prices of storage units in your area and warehouse space, depending on your space. I can't be as specific as I want, because I don't know your exact situation. If you're really on a limited budget, you're probably gonna be better off with a storage unit. And the reason is because a lot of warehouse spaces are typically gonna be more expensive based on the limited amount of space that they have. So I've noticed in my area, it's really hard to get a warehouse space for less than like 900 square feet. So in my area, I could get storage units for like 150, sometimes 100 to 300 square feet. So if money is the biggest thing holding you back, like you only have a certain amount, you're capped off, maybe you only have like $200 to $500 a month, you're probably gonna wanna start with a storage unit. Another thing as well, commitment. If you have any type of commitment issues where you don't wanna be locked into a lease, or you're just trying things out, or you're just testing it, or you're not really sure if eBay is gonna be right for you, then I would go with a storage unit as well, because the limited budget is gonna hurt you, because warehouses are typically gonna be usually like double the price, if not more, depending on your space. But the commitment, you will find some warehouses and the landlords are willing to do month to month, but a lot of them are gonna want a 1 year to 2 year commitment. And the larger spaces, the bigger you go up, from what I've heard from other people, the commitment usually increases as well. So if you're moving or you're only gonna be around for a couple of months, I would definitely go with the storage unit. Now, space. One of the downsides to owning a storage unit or renting a storage unit is space. So again, you can get storage units for sometimes like 50 square feet, but you're not gonna be able to do much in there. But if you're gonna get 200-300 square feet, just remember, in a storage unit, that's not a lot of space. There's different parts of an eBay business you've gotta consider. If you don't mind panning over there, Zach, we've got inventory, right? So you're gonna have to store your inventory. Over there, we've got a little desk area, right? We've got photography, we've got a listing area, we've got lights, we've got a mannequin for clothing and stuff. So, you know, storage units are gonna be smaller, they're gonna be cheaper, they're gonna be less commitment, but space is one of the downsides. One of the great things about having a warehouse space is you have a lot more space. And if you find a location, I highly recommend looking in industrial parks. Don't look in areas where there's like storefront, because it's gonna be super pricey. But you're gonna have a lot more space in a warehouse. Hours of operation, if you get a storage unit, sometimes they only have certain hours of operation where you can go through the gate and you can get access to your unit, or they just have specific hours of operation to come and go, right? Typically with warehouses, you can come and go whenever you want. So just know that is a limitation if you are looking at warehouses. See if it's 24 hours a day, or if there's certain hours. That might be a problem for you if you're working 9 to 5 or maybe 12 to 9 and you're gonna run your eBay business in the middle of the night. Make sure that you can get in, right? Make sure you can get in. Also, sometimes at storage units, they have like outside non-climate controlled units, and then they have inside ones that are climate controlled. Just make sure that it fits, the hours of operation fit, because sometimes you get outside, but you can't get inside. Price per square foot, okay? So what I mean by that is if you have I don't know, an 800 square foot warehouse versus an 800 square foot storage unit, typically the warehouse space is going to be cheaper, right? So it's going to be cheaper per square foot versus the storage unit. So the storage units are typically, depending on where you live, I'm in Connecticut and I have friends who own or rent storage units and own and rent warehouse space. Typically it's going to be cheaper to rent depending on where you live. A warehouse versus a storage unit. But again, the storage units, typically there's going to be space issues and then you're going to have leases with warehouses, and it's going to typically cost more money to get a warehouse versus a unit, but it's going to be, you're going to get a better bang for your buck with the warehouse. But now, keep in mind, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. When you have a warehouse space, you are going to have some additional expenses that you wouldn't traditionally have with a storage unit because you're going to have more amenities. You're going to have more things that you can use. Like in a storage unit, if you have employees and stuff, you're not going to usually have a bathroom. Sometimes you're not even going to have outlets. So if you have a listing booth, you need outlets, you're going to be challenged with a lot of storage units, right? With a warehouse, you're going to typically have a bathroom, which is great. Because I had a storage unit before, and my 1099 contractor, every time he had to use the bathroom, he had to go down to the grocery store. So that's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. And we did have an outlet at our storage unit, but there was only one outlet. So like, you've got to be concerned with not like overloading it so you don't blow the electricity in your location. But remember, like I was saying, at a warehouse, you're going to have utilities. So over here, we have lights. You know, that's a bill that I have. We've got heat up there, right? So we have a gas bill. We have a bathroom, so we have a water bill. So there's going to be more additional expenses that go along. Still, even with the utilities, I find that the benefits outweigh having that storage unit because, again, you're wasting a lot of time if you have like employees or contractors going to the bathroom. You can't really do as much as you want space-wise. You might not have like really good lighting. So there's a lot of pros and cons, but the bathroom was big. That's why we moved from, we had a 300 square foot storage unit over here. We moved here because the bathroom was a big concern. Also, space was a big concern. And there was just a lot of different issues, right? So consider the utilities. Those are going to be more expenses. And remember, at a storage unit, you're not going to have any internet. So if you are going to utilize a storage unit, make sure that you have a personal hotspot on your phone. That's what we were using. But then again, the internet was super shaky. So that's one of the downsides. One of the benefits of having a warehouse is you can get internet, and we've got internet back there behind this board, but you're going to get hit with a big business internet bill. So where I typically live for my personal residence, I have internet for like $70. Once you get into a warehouse, a business commercial space, it's going to be typically double, if not triple, depending on where you live. So they get you, they're ruthless, they take advantage of you like crazy. It is what it is. But that's another expense. Less restrictions. So having a warehouse space, one of the benefits is you can do what you want. You could have employees, you could have contractors, you could typically come and go whenever you want. If you have a storage unit, sometimes they have restrictions in terms of hours of operation. They don't want you running a business out of the storage unit, even though people do it. They really don't want you in there conducting business. If you read the little tiny terms of service, they've got a bunch of language in there that really protects themselves against that. They don't really want you running, like plugging things into the outlet and stuff. Like every time I've gone and I told them I need to use the outlets, like really don't use it a lot. Like they were like discouraging me like crazy. So there's just a lot of restrictions, right? When you have a storage unit versus a warehouse. Again, some of the downsides though, it's gonna cost you more money. You're gonna have utilities. Also, you're gonna have taxes. One thing I didn't realize about getting this warehouse space is once I got the space, all of a sudden one day I heard a knock on the door. It wasn't even a knock. She just walked right in. My garage was open. The woman who was working for the town walks into my unit and she's got a camera and she's snapping, doing her thing. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, who the hell is this person? She's like, oh, I have to take pictures of everything in your possession at this property. I'm like, for what? She's like, I work for the town of blah, blah, blah. And essentially what we're doing is we work for the assessor's office and we're going to put a value on all of your possessions minus inventory in here. So they're going to put a a value on this. They're going to put a value on my computer. They're going to put a value on the printer and on the lights, minus the inventory. They don't tax you on your inventory. And then based on your mill rate, boom, you get taxed on your personal possession. How freaking messed up is that? But welcome to Connecticut. Taxes, right? So those are some things to consider. Employees are 1099 contractors, right? I'm not going to talk about it too much in this video. There is a difference between a 1099 contractor and an employee, but whatever it is you're using, if you want to grow your business and you want to hire people and you want to have a team present to help you scale your eBay business, it's going to be much easier in a warehouse space. Again, they've got utilities, gas, there's water, there's a bathroom. In a storage unit, you're not going to have a lot of that. So it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. If you're just starting off and you're small, I would just work out of your house. It's going to be much more comfortable. You could go into a storage unit. I have a friend, he has like 4 or 5 of these. It's a pain in the butt. I'm sure he'll upgrade to a warehouse soon. But again, storage unit, you don't need a lot of money. You don't need to commit to a lease. You could expand your space actually easily by just renting out other units. So when units like open up next to your unit, you could pop on that, right? So hopefully this video helped you out. Depending upon your goals, depending upon your finances, depending upon where you live and what you really want to achieve, I think this video will help you to determine which one's best for you. So leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any desires to move into a warehouse or a storage unit. If you have any tips or tricks for the people watching right now, leave a comment down below. With that being said, smash that like button and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.